He's in LA, and he is, of course, paying homage to his family, for his passing of his daughter. Bill, I hope everything is going well. You're in our continued prayers as you travel there and back. We pray that you get
Sure.
back safely, okay? Right,
You got that
family?
right.
Yeah.
And
Yes. So
Hmm.
how you
Yeah.
doing, Bing? You
sure,
all
for
right?
sure.
Yeah, things are going well, Dr. Paul. You know what? Let's put it like this. It's always a situation where you're not quite sure where to go with something. But you know what? You do what you have to do, and God continues to bless. As long as He does that, I'm going to serve the family. That's what's
All
up.
right. All
Yeah.
right. Amen to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, sir.
All right, family. I want to start off by just saying welcome to the family tree. And this is a tree of holistic health. So, to better your family and yourself and all the things that we talk about today, it's going to be all natural, all organic, no side effects, no antagonistic effects. We just want to do it God's way. How about that? Y'all
I
sound
know
about
that's
right
right.
about
I know
that?
that's right. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
So in the world going backwards, we need to be going forward. We got to talk about life. Only life begets life. Dead can't bring you life. Dead can't do nothing but stay dead,
I
right?
know that's right. I know
So
that's right.
that's why you
Cody?
got to put life inside of you. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I'm seeing. We
Oh,
are suffering by living on this northern hemisphere because there's no energy in the food or their light source. We're
Feel
getting
like
low light
out there.
and also no energy in the food. So what are we going
okay.
to talk about? Let's talk about all that good stuff today. I want to hear from you tonight.
All
I
right.
want you to bring
Yeah,
forth the things that you're hearing in
I
the
see that.
media, the things you're hearing in the news. But I want sometimes people want to just chime in. I want to hear from folks that we didn't hear from before.
Yes, yes.
And hopefully that we can answer some real tough questions. It's getting tough out here, y'all.
And tough out.
They're coming down the line and they're going to start, you're going to start hearing things like mandatory vaccine. Only way they're going to open up is if there's someone has a vaccine. And then people still are saying, well, I'm not quite sure, doc. So those questions are coming across. Hopefully we can answer some of those today. How's that
That's
sound?
right.
All right.
That's right. Sounds like a winner to me.
All right, Big B, you want to start us off? I want you to give us the latest COVID numbers if you can,
You got it, my
and
friend.
tell us where we're getting it from so that the family knows where we are. Okay?
Okay. For those of you who don't know where we get this information from, it comes from NCOV. That's NCOV 2019.live. Okay. That's NCOV 2019.live. Now, of course, if you don't know, this was created by a young high school fella for a class, which has turned into a situation where it really helps us do well and get information that most people are not telling us about. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get that out to you. Okay, let me pull it back up here, just kind of bounce out. All right, here we go, guys. Right now, this was just updated 15 minutes ago. Total confirmed cases, all right, 107,816,415. That's total confirmed cases, guys. All right. Total critical, the number is 101,605. All right. Total deceased, 2 million. Still creeping, still creeping. 2,363,691. Total active, total active, here we go again. 25,725,281. All right. Now, our total recovered. Here we go, Dr. Hoy. You got my drum roll, Dr. Hoy? You got my drum roll? Oh, I know that's right, buddy. Total recovered 79 million, everybody. 739,982. So
Do
guess
y'all hear
what?
that? Do
We are
y'all
all
hear that, family?
people think we are.
That's a shout right there.
That's
Somebody
it,
needs
right?
to be shouting right now.
I know that's right.
But
I
you
know
got to
that's right.
remember, here we are. I'm watching all of the major news networks, and Big B. If you go to this website,
Yes,
ncove2019.live,
yes,
that's
yes.
ncov2019.live, put together by a teenager. Put it together when there was about 3 or 4 cases of COVID. He did it as a project and ended up being the biggest thing in the world. But the numbers that you have on the left hand panel, if you pull it up, is the quick panel numbers. They call them quick. It's
Yeah,
quick facts.
right.
These are the same quick facts that you'll see on major networks, except for that
Right.
bottom one, which says totally recovered. Ain't
Exactly.
that something? Now, why wouldn't you just post the whole thing? You know, you got people that are saying, "Hey, I want to find out how many people are doing well and actually beating this thing." You know,
Yeah,
I get it every week. I get people that are telling me, you know, "Hey, I took those." You know what's making a run right now is that old Indian wild cherry
I,
bark syrup.
I know that's right.
Y'all better grab some of that. Let me
Hey,
tell
y'all,
you,
it's nasty, but it's good. It's gonna keep you
it's
running.
nasty.
It's nasty for days.
You get used to it.
I know, I know.
But people are calling up saying, I had a couple of cases where just this week people said that they were tested positive. They went back, started taking the old Indian wild cherry bark syrup. 2 weeks went back, gone, not even close.
Look
Yep.
out now. Look out now.
Yep. So that's many cases have been going on like that. So just keep that in your repertoire, okay? All right, family. I want to start off with taking some questions today. And if you are here for the very first time, right on your side, you can actually raise your hand. Put your hand up so I can see you in our participants log in, and I can see your hand, and then I'll try to get you as they come through. They're
All right.
coming through as you log in. They're not alphabetical. They're based on who hits them and when they hit them. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead on and get started with that. Thank you, Big B, for those
Sure,
numbers.
man.
We appreciate that.
Sure thing.
I got Robin. First one, Robin. Robin, you're up.
Yay, I got it this week.
Yes, you are
Oh, you
first this
better what's
week.
Hi, Dr. Cole.
How you doing, Robin?
I'm doing well. I did get my appointment, praise God. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you soon. But my
Excellent.
question is, as it relates to sinus, post nasal drip,
Mm-hmm.
and then getting the COVID on top of all of that, what can one do for post nasal drip? A lot of mucus.
Okay. Interesting thing that you say that. I just met someone today, right in the herb store, and they were having the very same thing. All right. First off, remember, you got to get your water right. I always focus on water. Get your water right. Post nasal drip has a lot to do with the body starting to eradicate. It's trying to push out or purge out some of the toxins or the toxins through mucus. Remember, mucus, people look at mucus as a bad thing. Mucus is actually what the body's using as a transient system to flush out poison. That's what it does. That's what mucus does. So there's three levels of mucus, and that drip that you're seeing has a lot to do with that trying to purge it out. So number one, you got to make sure your water is right. So you're drinking the right water, right? Remember, spring water bottle at the source. Number two, you got to make sure you're getting the right amount of water. What's the right amount of water? Half the body weight in ounces. Got it? So whatever your body weight is, split it in half. That's what you have. Okay, that's in ounces. Then divide that by the size of the bottle that you have, whether it's 12 ounce or 16.9 ounce, and then that'll tell you how many glasses or how many bottles. You got it? So water has to be
Mm-hmm.
pristine, it has to be on point. Next thing you want to do is stay away from the dairy products. Dairy is number one when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to postnasal drip. You gotta stay off the dairy products. Yeah, cheese counts, y'all. Cheese
Uh-oh.
counts. Oh
Uh-oh.
man. See,
Uh-oh.
first y'all said, "Oh, the cheese don't count, right?" Don't, no, no, no. Cheese counts. You got it. Cheese does count, and you gotta pull off that cheese or any of the dairy. Remember, cow's milk is for calves, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
so you got to stay off the levels of what that does. Did you know that the cow when they milk, they do these things to the cow. They give them all these herbicides and things that make the cow literally start to milk more. So they give it all these chemicals
Really?
and a lot of different things that literally milk the cow till
I
the cow
finally got it.
literally
Uh,
drops.
a friend sent it to me to the link
Okay, cause y'all gotta mute yourself, mute yourself.
myself.
Okay, mute yourself. So when you have a cow that's actually just sitting there, and they will milk the cow till the cow drops.
Mm.
Literally, the legs get as skinny as a pole almost. And
Wow.
then when the cow falls, then they still continue to milk the cow until the cow eventually dies.
Wow.
So that's what's dragged off. And finally, when the cow dies, they take the cow, push it off, and then now that cow is now what's put into a pile for all of those fast food restaurants. That's that meat. That's the cow. That's the disease, the sickened, and the cow that has been milked till it dropped. That's the one you're eating if you go into fast foods. Got it? So that milk has been used with chemicals. There's all forms of herbicides, pesticides, even things that are used in there you can't even pronounce. But the thing is, those things activate. They actually are additional to what when it gets in your system starts to clog up your sinuses. Actually, you can get an infection in your sinuses called catarrh, which a lot of people have and never even know that they have it. That's what causes a lot of the postnasal drip. Then you can have a situation where, did you know that milk actually stops the body from absorbing nutrients? That means if you got to rush to the hospital and you were actually overdosed on drugs, they would give you milk, right? If you had poison, because it stops the absorption of nutrients in the body. So if you're drinking milk, you're stopping the absorption of nutrients into your body. We take children off of milk and asthma goes. No more asthma, no more sleep app issues. So that I'm harping on this because that usually is the number one trigger for a lot of that sinus drip. You gotta watch the dairy products, okay? Um, last thing I want to say about that, the postnasal drip, you have to get the expectorant herbs. There's a lot of expectorant herbs. Anyone know what expectorants are?
No, I
Expectorants.
was expecting to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you
Expectorants.
sneeze.
Well,
Bring
yeah,
up the mucus.
it draws off. It draws off. It pulls off. That is correct. Expectorants pull off, or they pull off the mucus off the lungs. It has what's called inulin. Write that down.
Okay.
Inulin. 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 Inulin actually is what makes the lungs moist. And if you have something that has inulin in it, like that old Indian wild cherry bark syrup, that would be good for you, Robin. You know, we say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, but that one would do wonders for you. Okay, that's the way we stop it right there. But make sure you're not doing the triggers, right? No acid forming foods. Go to the website, family, download the acid alkaline food chart. That acid alkaline food chart has everything to deal with staying away from acid forming foods. Did you know a lot of the nuts are causing a lot of acid too, y'all? Daggone it. Can't eat nothing.
What?
Can't eat nothing.
What kind of nuts? Not me.
I have a question, Dr. Paul.
Okay,
Wait a
so
minute, I got one more question.
I just want to go with Robin. One more real quick, Robin.
Just one more real fast as it relates. Last week we was talking about the mouth hygiene, and as it relates to brushing the teeth and scaling and scraping your tongue. How often should one do that?
You can do that every day. You know, I think everyone should do it every day. If you're eating every day, you should be cleaning every day. You know, especially if your teeth and I mean, it's very simple to do with the toothbrush. You don't need a tongue scraper necessarily, just to
Okay.
take the actual toothbrush itself and just scrub the tongue. You know, we have there is a tongue diagnosis that we have. Maybe I'll see if I can pull one real quick. But there is a chart on the tongue. So the tongue actually, we can show you some of the effects of what happens by looking at your tongue. If you see a white coating on the tongue, anybody know what that might be? A white coating on the tongue. That's a sign of processed foods. Yes.
Mm.
Everybody look at your tongue right now.
I know
Everybody
that's
can
true.
look at your tongue.
I'm curling mine up, Dr. P. I can't.
Yes, that's a direct sign of having
Too much processed food, right?
too much processed food. Yep. Let me see
Uh,
if I can grab something here, B. Let me see if I can grab one. Somebody sound like they grubbing over there. So here, let me let some more folks in. So the tongue, if you see a white coating on the on the taste buds, see a lot of us have desensitized the taste buds. And what desensitizes the taste buds has everything to do with the foods that you're eating, the refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils. You know, we wouldn't have these problems if everyone was getting unrefined salts, unrefined sugars. But see, it makes no money if you can't refine it. You got
right,
it? You can
right.
thin it out and you can make more of it. So a lot of people are, a lot of the manufacturers are refining everything. And guess what? That's what goes out to all the industry. So
Mm,
if you have refined white salt, which is not even salt anymore, it's called sodium chloride, which is actually bleach. It's like a bleach almost.
bleach. Yes.
It's actually sodium chloride is actually now a chemical. That's what's sent to the food industry from the salt that goes to the meat industry, the seafood, the canned food, the soups, all the canned foods that are like like the vegetables, and then also the frozen foods, and also going into things like everything in a box. So
Yes.
think about
Yes.
that for
Yes.
2 seconds. Can y'all think about that for 2 seconds? Anything in a box in the supermarket.
Mm.
Remember, if you go into the store, if you're going into the supermarket, right? Give me an idea of your supermarket. When you walk in the supermarket, what's the first thing you see in your supermarket? Anybody. Just anybody. What's the first
Vegetables,
thing you see?
fruits and
Junk
vegetables.
food.
Fruit.
He
Fruits
said
and
junk
vegetables.
Fruits
food.
and vegetables.
Fruits
Fruits
and
and vegetables.
vegetables.
Cakes and pies.
Fruits and vegetables around the woman.
You
Fruit and
usually
Yes.
vegetables.
you usually
Yeah,
see the fruit section, right? Fruits and
right.
vegetables, right?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Now I'm going to tell you now, you're being set up.
Yeah.
Okay, you're being set up. There's a reason why they pull you in this direction. So when you come in, and then if you keep on all the way to the back, what do you see on the back line?
Meat.
The meat
What's
Fishes,
different?
cows.
Fish.
seafood and then meat.
Yeah.
What do you see on that back line?
Fish,
Meat.
meat,
Take
The
out.
protein.
Take out.
Usually it's
seafood,
Gravy.
usually it's meats and
Yeah.
seafood,
meat.
Seafood.
Right.
right? Meats
The
and
perimeter.
seafood. All right, perimeter in the back, right? All right, now you're in the back now. Now you're coming up the left side again. What's on that left
Ice
side?
cream.
Frozen food. Dairy.
Dairy.
Dairy, orange
Dairy.
juice,
Dairy's on
frozen,
that side. Dairy's on
Yeah.
that side, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
frozen,
dairy's on that side. So now when you come down that side with the dairy, then what's in the middle?
Boxes.
canned,
Food.
canned food.
Box
The ice
canned food.
cream,
Next.
The
You mean
canned
in the
food.
aisle?
Junk.
What's in the middle? Because you
Junk.
remember, wait a minute, remember on the right side when you first came in,
Yes.
it was what? This
Produce.
fruit,
was
Fruits and
what? It was
vegetables.
fruits and vegetables.
Vegetables.
You went
right?
to the back, and that back
Fish,
line is what?
Meat.
fish
The
and meat.
protein. Seafood.
I
Dairy.
see
The meat.
cows
The
and
protein.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
the
milk,
animal
milk and
protein.
eggs.
okay, so it was meats and seafood, and then on the left side coming up is the dairy side. So
Dairy.
what's
Dairy.
in the
Right.
middle?
Yes.
Correct.
All the processed
Everything.
Soda.
Processed food.
Everything in the middle is processed food.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Very
Wow.
good.
That's where anything is in a box is in that middle section. That
in the
means the
part.
cakes, the cookies, the pies, the crackers, all of that stuff with refined white
Cereal.
salt.
Ice cream.
You
Mm-hmm.
got it.
The canned
Frozen food
vegetables.
is in
All the
there
canned
also.
stuff.
Frozen food is in there also.
Around the
So
other
Right
perimeter.
you
there.
see what's going on? So you see what's going on. They're basically aligning it for a purpose. That the whole purpose of that is to keep you locked in that box. Keep you in that box. You can stay in that zone and you'll never get out of there. because that's what's actually coming in. That's when you may grab another thing, cookies. Oh wow, crackers.
Oh,
Wow, wow.
God,
You're going
yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Got it? So I want you to keep in mind how you're being set up, but understand that all of that is refined white salt. And that's why we're having the problem. That goes in when you have too much refined white sugar, white salt, and the oils, those refined oils. The body says, I can't break this down. I only can break it down when it is life. Now, if there's no life there, now I have to, if there's too concentrated and there's dehydration, I need to put more moisture back into it. So where am I going to get the moisture from? Wait a minute. Because if you took, for example, the body looks at a raisin, it tries to break the raisin down, says, I can't break that raisin down. It's already been dehydrated. Not saying raisins are
Okay.
bad, but it's dehydrated, right? So the body says, I can't break that down. I need to put water back into it, make it a grape again. Now I can break this thing down. Wow. Isn't that awesome? Because the body says, I only do things holistically. I only do things as a corporation, an organization, as a family. Got it? So if you have too much of this refined white sugar, white salt, white bread, all this stuff that's refined, the body's always going to look for moisture. It's going to take it from the only source it can get it from. Guess where it's going to get it from? Your arteries. Yes, your arteries, your veins. That's when blood pressure starts to go up, starts to go skyrocket, high. And it's going to take it from your arteries, your veins. Now circulation issues, neuropathy. You know, now it starts to shut down the pancreas. Now there's issues with the pancreas. Now you can't produce insulin. You see how the systemic effect happens with this family? This is what's happening over and over. So just try to do the very best you can to stay away from as much refined products as possible. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who is the next question? I'm going to take. I got Helen. Helen.
Good evening, Dr. Paul and
Good
Bill and
evening.
everyone. How are you?
Hello.
Great. I have a question. The first question is about the oregano, the raw wild oregano oil
Mm-hmm.
versus the Dr. Muka honey. Which one is the best in comparison?
And what was the other one? The Dr. Manuka honey?
Right.
Sure, they do different things. They're both good. You know, there's no good versus bad. You know, that's almost like the question when people say, "Well, what's the best herb?" The only best herb is the best herb for you. You got it? So both are good. Both are very good. The Manuka, I can tell you what the Manuka honey does versus what the oregano does. The Manuka is actually very good. We call honeys of any kind, we call it Mother Nature's multivitamin. Okay, it's Mother Nature's multivitamin, so it's very medicinal, which means it's good for colds, allergies, builds the immune system. You know, so it does a lot of things. Even you can take that Manuka honey and put it on any types of burns or cuts or rashes and things like that, and it actually accelerates the speeding up process for healing. So that Manuka does. And matter of fact, there's one called Heal Honey. It's called Heal Honey. It's actually when someone has like a gash under their feet or something, like from things like diabetes or neuropathy, and it's like maybe a sore or something that does not heal. There's one called Heal Honey that you can actually use. Okay, so Manuka is very good. But I would say it is concentrated. Remember, it is concentrated. Honey is concentrated because, remember, anything that pours slow. Why does something pour slow versus something that pours fast? Somebody, real quick. Anybody.
Specific gravity.
Water in it.
Concentrated, no added waters added.
Water. Lack of water.
You got it. Lack of water. That's it. Lack of water. Concentration. So if you are someone who has issues with diabetes, sugar control, I would not recommend doing honey, okay? Because it can mess with your levels of what's called insulin resistance, your ability to absorb nutrients into the cell. You got it? So be careful. Now, the oregano The oregano oil is used for things like lungs. That's specifically where that goes. So Helen, where's the Helen go? She's here.
Yes,
You
Yeah.
there?
yes.
Still
So if
there?
you're doing with the oregano oil, that one deals with the lungs, upper respiratory lungs. That's why it's very good for dealing with the COVID because it heats the lungs up, but also keeps them moist. And they put it in a base of that thing that I call inulin, and that's why it's a very, very good thing to take. And it's also good for an oil to keep on your skin. You can put it on your skin. That is part of the one that you can put in, also added to the thieves oil. Okay, it can be added to the thieves oil also. So it's all good stuff, all respiratory. So if you're looking at the two difference you gave me, one is immune system, one is respiratory. Okay.
My next question is in regards to the fruits and so forth. Like bananas, for instance, you've got Musa bananas, you got Barrel bananas, which have lots of minerals in it. However, they are fours, they're not nines. Then you have your watermelons that are organic, but they don't have seeds. Or your
Mm-hmm.
grapes. The organic grapes are not seeded, but we're
Mm-hmm.
told to eat the seeded fruit. So, what is your
Well, well,
perspective on?
well, the take on that is the difference between conventional versus organic. Okay, the difference is the numbering system that you see. So the numbering system is based off of the first digit. Okay, so if you're going into the store and you see the 4-digit number, you see two worlds going on: conventional versus organic. Well, conventional starts with sometimes threes or fours. Okay, there are other numbers that come on with that also, but I'm gonna focus just on the 3 and the 4 right now. So the threes and the fours represents that first digit is called the creation number. Okay, the creation number tells you how that thing was created. The other numbers represent where it comes from and possibly what it was also mixed with. So when you see conventional, you automatically have to think that there's something that was done to this, whether from the seed, the soil, sometimes both, or they spray it. They spray it with this thing called chlorpyrifos. Okay, chlorpyrifos, or they'll even put a wax on there, which is the wax is actually when people are actually washing the apples and stuff. That wax is actually waterproof, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
you gotta scrub them. But anyway, the chlorpyrifos is what was actually is sprayed on all of the fruits and vegetables. It's a pesticide, and we've tried to get them to pull that off of there because that was the one that was put in Black Flag and Raid and removed in 1996. But they removed it in 96, but they never stopped spraying your conventionals to this very day. So the only way you pull that off, you got to take baking soda with aluminum free. Got it? But that conventional does not have the nutrition of a number 9, which is what we say is organic. So if you're looking at that banana that you mentioned, which may be 4011, that 4, we want the 9 in front of that 4. You got it? That represents organic. Okay, it's gone through organic processes. No, the best thing we know right now in America is that we can only trust what they're telling us. There is no mandatory labeling laws. You
And that's
understand?
tough. Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's our problem right now. So that 3s and 4s, you try to stay away from if you can. If there is a price point on that, because people can't always afford organic foods, we understand that. So if you can do better, do better. But the ratio of conventional versus organic is 4 to 6 to 1. That means you got to eat 4 to 6 of those 1 bananas that start with the 4 to every 1 organic. That's
But what if
crazy,
it's
y'all.
not? What if it's seedless? The grapes should have seeds,
Right.
but they're organic.
Right. If it's seedless, it's soulless. It is nothing. That is a GMO. That is genetically modified.
But it's
See
organic.
what they do. There is no such thing as an organic seedless. That does not exist. They sell that and they get away
Right.
with it because there is no mandatory laws that says they can't do it. But there is no such thing as an organic seedless watermelon. It doesn't exist.
Right.
You got it? That's why a lot of those watermelons, I don't know if y'all heard, but over the summertime, see those seedless watermelons, because they've been genetically modified, they have what's called a termination.
Yes.
It's the termination gene, which means it's a terminated to the point where it does not have the ability to reproduce seeds. That's a patent. They patent this thing. This is what they did, y'all. And you can check out the patent. The patent says that this thing has a technology now where they've modified it where it's terminated, so it never has the ability to create seeds. Now, how do they do that? Well, they manipulate this thing called manganese. You've heard of manganese, right? Well, manganese is actually the very thing that actually, when they tweak it a little bit, you can stop it from making seeds. Wow.
Wow.
That's how you make seedless fruit. So now they call that organic. There's no such thing as a seedless organic fruit. That's impossible. Fruit means to multiply. So now this thing can't multiply. It is soulless. That's what I call it, soulless. So I believe, and I've seen the difference between why, you have seedless grapes now. Grape seeds are some of the greatest antioxidants on the planet. Now, when I'm going to go off and just say there is a reason I believe so much cancer is on the rise because so many people are not eating seeds from grapes anymore.
That's right.
Think about it. When you went out to the market, you probably grabbed some what? You grab your bread. What else y'all grab? When you say, "Oh, it's gonna snow," what you gonna grab, Big B? You gonna grab some, everybody run and grab, bread, bananas, and you usually people will grab some grapes because it's like a quick food, right? Well, when you now have grapes that longer have seeds, then remember the essence of the grape was the seed. That's the energy. The flesh is the byproduct. You got it? So if there's no seed anymore, then there's no soul anymore. You got it? So that's why it has no nutritional value. It doesn't yield the energy that it's supposed to. So yes, stay away from them. Try to put the pressure on those markets that actually are selling it, because you have a word. You can go to them and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm not going to buy it from here unless y'all start getting some organic stuff up in here." Matter of fact, I'm also going to tell my cousin and them, and they ain't going to come in either.
That's right. That's right.
You got it? Y'all got to start buying it up. I'm telling you, you start banging it up, they're going to be like, "Okay, we better start getting some organic up in here." You can make the difference, but if you don't know, you can't make a difference. You got it? So seeds. This is a great book. Let me give y'all a book.
While you look at that book,
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
You use the term that's the flesh. I'm thinking most people have a tendency to always want to take the actual the what we call the skin off of fruit.
Oh, no.
It's not that important. So if you're juicing, don't you want the entire fruit and not just what's in the middle?
Well, remember the seed it's important. It's the byproduct of the seed. So, some people will take the seed and throw it away, or that everyone's they've convinced us that it's so inconvenient to eat that we're just going to remove all seeds without your asking of anything. Really, they're just having the ability to say, if I remove the seed, then now I can control how this thing grows. You got it? That's the thing. So it's manipulation and control of a food can control, literally, when you go deep enough, it can control a people and a culture. So food is powerful when you can do that. So yes, the byproduct of the seed is the flesh. So there's a book that I want to see with everyone. See this book? I don't know if y'all can see this.
Right
it's
there.
called
Right, hold it. You went over. You got away from it. Bring it up. Right, you go. Right there, Dr. Vaughn. Right there.
The Power of the Seed.
Yes.
See that right there?
Charles E. Blank, Bishop Charles E. Blank.
Got it? Take a snapshot of that. That's a powerful book. This book goes back to, the biblical principles of the seed, and has every scripture. If you're a scriptural person, that needs to get more reinforcement to understanding how this thing works and how you are never to manipulate the seed, you're going to want this book. This book is powerful. Power of the Seed by Lawrence Powell. He's, as a matter of fact, I think he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey. I think he's from Jersey.
Yeah, I know
Yep.
him, Mr. Paul. What you want to do, you can
Yep.
swing it over.
Powerful book, man. I've been reading this book, and he's co-signing on everything about the seed.
Over here, I'm taking care of my business over here. I'm on
So
there.
I would say so.
Why
You know
always-
what?
Hey,
Before y'all gotta mute yourself. Come on, family. Come on. Mute yourself. Don't just talk. You gotta mute before you talk. Okay. So what you want to do is when you see any seed, you know, one seed that I tell people that you need to start adding to your smoothie if you're smoothing without throwing it away. It's that avocado seed.
I know that's right.
People throw that avocado seed right away. They, you know what, Bill? They get fancy. They throw the knife and boop and pop it out like that. Throw it right in the trash. But no, you need to dry that out. You can dry that seed out. Okay, let it dry out. Just let it sit out and dry. You can put it on some cloth, or you can actually just keep it, you know, in a dry place. You can even have it sun. You can have it in the sun where it dries out. But guess what? When that thing dries out, you can take that and get a grater, grade some of that seed right into your smoothie. Wow.
Wow.
You got that? That's an incredible antioxidant. Very, very powerful antioxidant.
Dr. Paul,
Yes.
my grandfather, all my life, has always had him a garden right across from his house. And he used to do sauerkraut, and my mother loved this sauerkraut, so he sent me under the house to go get some sauerkraut.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked under there, and I saw that he kind of ran out of space, and he had all these husks on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Daddy, you want me to go clean that shelf off?" He said, "Boy, don't you touch that." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Son, whatever I desire to plant, I only buy that seed one time,
That's right.
because everything God made has seed in itself."
That's right. Amen on that one. That's an amen right there.
My grandfather shared that with me, and I never forgot it. And he's the one taught me how to grow things, because I was always going to the garden with him.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Paul, give him my testimony. My report from the doctor.
Yeah, while we're there, and you know what, Rev, and you know, I'm going to say, family, I'm going to let Rev go ahead and tell this testimony, because this testimony is that powerful. You called me last night and you dropped this on my heart, man, and this is absolutely something that everyone here, you need to listen, drop your pen, write this down and get some notes, get somebody, because somebody may need to hear what this testimony is. Go ahead, Rev, go ahead.
I was diagnosed with diabetes 7 years ago, and I had to do needles. I had to do metformin, and then they told me I needed weight loss. They told me I needed to change my diet. I was a big soda drinker for years. I found out that when you drink soda, 75% of a soda is sugar.
Yes.
75. If you boil the water out of it, 75% was sugar. I had a bloated stomach. I was 50, 60 pounds overweight. I went to go up my life insurance, and that's how I found out. They said, "Well, you haven't had a test in about 9 years. You're going to need a test if you want to up this insurance." When they tested me, that's how I found out I was diabetic. And they've been working with me for 7 years to try to bring diabetes under control, not heal it, under control. Dr. Paul and I have been working together over 10 years. I finally get up the nerve to take that RM3A test.
Yes.
I took that RM3A test, Bill. It got me from the rooter to the tutor. Them doctors use a process of elimination when they work on you.
Yes.
Okay? Because they don't really altogether know. That RM3A, no guesswork. Get you right to it.
Yes.
And then Dr. Paul, from that point, he said, "Listen," he said, we're gonna deal with that nutrition, and we're gonna give the body what it's calling for." I want you to know that in less than 3.5, 4 months, I went back. I was a 9.7 with my A1C. I dropped all the way down to a 6.1 and then a 5.6.
You better watch out.
That doctor said, I ain't never. He said, we don't get nobody coming here. He said, you are totally free of diabetes.
Woo!
I know that's
the medication.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Taking you off of the medication.
Amen.
He said, and no more medication. So I just went for a follow-up with Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul has had me on certain herbs, and he saw a little something. He said, we're gonna give you something for this. And then I went to my doctor because the appointments are always close to each other. And the doctor said to me, he said, I can't do anything for you. He said, you're the perfect picture of health.
Hallelujah, brother.
That's what people need to hear.
And so he started pushing, trying to get me to get a colonoscopy. I wasn't getting nothing until I talked to him.
I know that's right.
Yes, sir. I wasn't getting nothing. And Dr. Paul says, listen, if you having any kind of issues, he said, as a last resort, you go there. He said, but you ain't have no kind of issues. Ain't no blood coming out, dry blood coming out in your stool and all that. He said, man, don't be letting them go up in you like that. But I told him, exit, don't enter.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Dr. Paul, you know my wife suffered with that acid reflux. You know.
Yep.
You gave us some recommendations. You told us at our visit that my liver and her liver was clean.
All right.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Hallelujah, man. This is some major stuff here, y'all. I hope y'all getting this.
Liver problems. God knows she did. And the doctor said the same thing to her that he said to me. He said, well, can we do a mammogram? He was pimping hard.
Yes. But there's nothing there. There's nothing there. You know, if you're listening for the very first time, that's Apostle Richie Housley, who actually is a good friend of mine. He is actually where we have the Eagle's Nest, the men's gathering, and for so many years, he opened up the doors right when this information and anything that was coming our way was fresh and new, and he just opened the doors and allowed me to bring the men's group and then eventually the women's group and things in, and I totally am at such a point of my heart is so heavy right now because you know what, Rev, I thank you so much for all that you've opened up because, you know, pastors, I always say that pastors need to be the ones that are bringing this message forward more than anyone. We say move in the spirit, mind, and body form. Spirit, mind, and body in that order. So coming from the throne is where it should be coming from. And you lead the pastors, you lead the flock, and they will do stuff. And the stuff that I hear all the time is that I ain't going to do it because pastor ain't doing it. That's what you lead, you know. So when you make the change, you're going to see the change. Yes.
You got involved, right? Although your grandmother had diabetes and you extended her life. I got involved because in one year, for 3 months, I buried 18 people in and around our age group. I had 2 of them that were old, the rest of them were in and around our age group. 18 people in 3 months. And I'm like, Paul, they digging the grave with the spoon, man. I said, and Dr. Paul said, the biggest thing with our people, we live in food deserts.
Yes.
And the second thing is, our people won't pick up a book. The economics affect, you know, what we buy.
Yep.
They try to say, well, you know, organic is too much. No, doctors are too much.
Yes.
Medicine is too much. Lack of productivity is too much. Bad health is too much.
It's too much, indeed.
And as a result of the efforts, Dr. Paul, we ain't burying them people. I ain't buried 18 people since then.
Wow.
That's what people need to hear.
That's what we need to hear. Just give Reverend Halsey a hand, y'all. Everybody, just give him a powerful testimony. And that is awesome.
That came the relationship with Bill. And Bill and I have been friends for over 30-some years. I've known Bill for a long time. And Brother Shakir, who I've known, I built his first restaurant 36 years ago. And out of that came, of course, with Dr. Lomax with the radio program. And we, you know, We need a TV program, Doctor.
Yeah, we need to
There's got to be a way.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you so much for that powerful testimony, and I hope that blessed somebody's heart this evening, and that you can
Amen.
share that with someone,
Yes.
because
Yes.
somebody
Yes.
that's on this that's listening right now is battling with diabetes. You know, that is a generational curse, y'all. And I can tell you, because I got sweat in the game. I lost my grandmother eventually to it. She extended her life 13 years. But eventually, you know, those are the things that are in all our families. I lost two brothers, twin brothers that were twins. Both of them had the same thing. They would not change their diet. They would not change the way they were living their lives. And, you know, eventually it took them out of here. This thing is no respecter of persons. If you break the laws, you pay. That's it. The universal laws, God said, I set before you the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. That's it. You break them, you pay. That's it. So we can, this is where I tell people the shout comes in, when you can regenerate 11 times faster than you get sick. So the odds and the grace is with you. So if you just apply the principle, you'll see the change, but you got to start to, you know, apply the principles, be obedient to your body and your temple. And that's it. The rest is going to take care of itself. Amen. All right, family. All right. Oh, that was powerful, man. I had to let that one go, y'all, because that, I know Rev, when Rev get going, he gonna get going. All right. So thank you so much. Bless his heart for opening them doors, right, Bill?
That's right.
Amen.
All right. All right. I think I had Helen was the last one that we had. Helen, did you have another last question before we left? I think we answered all the questions when dealing with that fruit, right? Get the power of the seed. Get the power of the seed. That's a powerful book. All right.
Yes, but one other question, this is the last one, is in regards to the supplements. Now with supplements, do they have to be organic? The different supplements that we take?
Okay, that's a big question. Now, here's the thing. When you take supplements of any kind, whether, you know, the ones that I say that you're talking about vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin B, all those things, right? Right. You just have to make sure that they're organic from places that have made the commitment to be organic. Okay. So that means don't buy them from Rite Aid, you know, CVS, you know, Target, you know, stay away from those stores. Make sure it's been someone who's made the commitment to be organic. Okay. Now,
like Nature Way is fine, Blue Bonnet is fine,
Blue
Solar
Bonnet,
is fine.
yeah, those are all good. Just make sure they made the commitment to be organic, okay? That's
Great.
really
Thank you
what
so
you want to
much.
do,
God
okay?
bless you.
Okay, God bless you too. All right, we got Audrey. Audrey, I see you chilling up there. What's going on? She chilling. Bill, she got her chair. She got her lean on in her
I told you that
chair.
when she first came in, she was just chilling up there.
She got her chair. She got her camera leaning just right where she's like, hey.
Hi.
Hey.
So it's a question, but it's a statement, and I guess I just want your opinion.
Okay.
I am a 12-year cancer survivor.
All right. Let's get a shot right there. Let's start right there with the tap. That's right. All right. Amen.
I have was told I was pre-diabetic, and I refused the metformin, and I took it from a 6.4 to a 6.1.
Mm-hmm.
And working going backwards on it.
Mm-hmm.
Cholesterol, same thing, working going backwards. I refused the medication, but now I got the letter from the university saying that I'm next on the list for the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
And due to, I guess, my ailments that I've had, I guess in the back of my mind, I question whether I should or should not take it.
Right. Okay. All right. So that's my question then, huh? That's my question to me. Okay. Hear me out, family. You know, if you haven't heard me more than once, come on either the radio or this show here, and we talk about what's happening with this virus.
Talk about the vaccine.
Yeah, the vaccine. Right, the vaccine. So here we got to remember now, you're dealing with three worlds. You're dealing with a philosophical understanding. They're believing. Don't let the mass marketing and the media and all the degrees and things fool you. This is based off of their belief system. This is a belief system. They believe
Yes.
that if you make the body sick, that the body, that's the way it gets well. You got me? It's a philosophical way they're thinking.
Mentality.
I'm going to make you sick before I make you well. So I do that by suppressing the system. That's why we give suppressive therapy. They call it suppressive therapy. And that's also why I'm going to give you the flu and the flu shot. You heard that right.
Yes.
Got it? You've heard the flus and the flu shot. But also now with this thing called protein spike indicators, I'm going to have it in there. Whatever it is, I got to fake the body out, lie to the body, trick it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To make it think that this is really going on so that it can do something else, so it can respond. Now, the only way that the body can respond that way is if it feels it's under attack. You got it? That's why they call it immune defense system. You got it? So that means the only way that you can raise the immune system to make the body think that it's under attack, it's got to be a poison.
Okay.
You got it? It's got to be a poison. So if it determines to try to raise the immune system anyway, why don't you just feed the body and build the immune system that way? And it's going to protect you from all of this craziness. You got
That's
me?
what I'm doing. I'm taking my
That's right.
vitamin D. The only thing I can't find right now is calcium by itself. Does anybody?
Right. So back to the philosophical understanding, we have a God philosophy that we go with the body. That's why it's called nature's path, nature's way. You feed the body and it corrects itself. So why would you go against what the body's already trying to do? That's like saying if you cut yourself, you're going to try to stop yourself from healing? That's crazy. That's insane. They say, "Oh well, it's the science. It's the science." No, that's mad science. You got me? Right. We're not saying that we're not doing anything. They just think that we're not doing anything. No, we're not doing any. We're doing what we know is going to build the system. There's 5 things that are affecting you: bacteria, virus, fungus, sepsis, and parasites. Those are usually the things. So if you feed your body, we got herbs for all of that. We got antibacterial, viral, fungal, septic, parasitic herbs that build the system. Feed the body, and the body starts to correct itself. You got it? So it's a perfect system. It's a perfect system created by a genius. So why are we doing these things to go against the body? And we get caught up with all of the hype, and I'm telling you, it's the promotion of it. You living in Hollywood. You know that. They got the best movies in the world, y'all. So, it said that too, the blind shall lead the blind and they both going to fall in the ditch. That's the scripture right there. So just be mindful. Ask yourself what's in the shot. You have a right to know. And I'm not saying that someone that's listening to this is still not going to say, I'm still going to get the shot. That's okay. But for those people who really want to understand, you got to understand who you serve and what you're doing to your body. What are you really saying when you get a shot? You're really saying that I have no way of correcting myself problem. I want to fake my body out to make it think it's sick. But see, they never take in consideration what happens when you hit somebody who already has a low immune system. You hit them with that poison, and guess what? You're going to have side effects. You're going to have all the problems. You're going to make them sick. So that's when you're seeing people. There's a lot of cases that are not being reported about these vaccines, by the way, y'all. I just want to tell y'all. And that's not going to hit the media because it's always going to be promoted to get it, to get the shot, to get the shot. I'm going to put it in every drugstore. But if you have, it's your choice, but make the right choice. All right?
Okay. Now, one more question.
Right.
Wow.
I'm trying to find calcium that does not have a whole bunch of other stuff in it, and I can't. Like I buy vitamin D separate.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find calcium separate, and I can't seem to find it.
Okay. What calcium are you trying to find?
I just want calcium, just regular.
Okay.
Calcium.
Now the best calcium, I'm going to tell you, the best calcium is the coral calcium. Okay, the liquid, well, powder or liquid, coral calcium, Coral, coral.
Okay.
Coral comes out of the ocean. The best coral calcium comes from what's called Okinawa,
Okay.
Lower Peninsula, Lower Peninsula. Coral calcium. Coral calcium has the ability to raise the pH. You remember that I gave the story about the coral calcium with the Great Exodus, where
Right.
all the people just left and got up, and all the doctors just left the island. They said, "I can't get nobody healing in here. Everybody's well. We out of here. No money over here." And so everybody left. It's called the Great Exodus. Look it up.
Okay. So where do you find coral calcium?
You can go right to the herbal stores that we represent, black stores that we represent, which is Wayne Avenue Health Food Store. That's the one that definitely have it. I did check with Pollock Herbs, does not have it. He's going to try to work on getting that though. But Wayne Avenue Health Food, which is 5007 Wayne Avenue, they do have it. So you can definitely get it from there. All right, family. Be encouraged, family. Understand that you're getting this pressure and these notices in the mail because you fall in that demographic of low immune system. That's why you're getting these letters, okay? That's why you got it.
Okay.
But understand, you gotta feed the body, correct yourself. You're doing the right things. Just by family being on here right now shows that you're doing something. You're doing something to build this system. You got it? You got to treat your body right. It'll correct itself. It'll help you. But you gotta number one, not give in to the temptations of things that are going against the body to bring you down. So thank you, Audrey. That was a great question. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Troy. We got Troy. Now, Big B. Before I go to Troy, Big B, you have any questions on the tagline? Oh, you're on mute, buddy. You're on mute. Big B, you're on mute.
I see you. Yeah, I see you.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you're right on time with everything right now. You covered all the questions that are in there in the chat.
Okay, good,
Okay?
good. All right, so we're gonna go to Troy right now. Troy.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
All right.
I want to talk about a little bit. Last week, you had mentioned the quartz stones. I think along those lines. I was at work this past weekend, and the guy was talking about chakra stones.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that certain stones are for certain things, like if you're going through depression or whatever the case may be. People can make a specific bracelet out of chakra stones for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are those good things or?
Sure. But I would say go to someone that knows what they're doing. Okay, your chakras. You have 7 primary chakras. Okay, and the chakras start from right where your root chakra, which would be your tailbone, or that would be the section of the tailbone that's called your root chakra. Then you would have right where the belly button is, that would be your sacral chakra. And hold on, matter of fact, let me get I think I have a chart for that on my website. I think. Does anybody know about that? I think I have one. Chakra. 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 Chakra is just the energy point in which energy cross over from one region of your body to the other. And you have these things that basically moves energy through the body. Now, I'm going to give you, I'll pull it up for y'all. How about that? Okay, energy moves. So you have this thing called the endocrine system, or some may call it the endocrine system. But this endocrine system is what spins. It's like a wheel. That's when you eat food, it spins the wheels. And these wheels spin all the way up to your crown chakra, which actually is where your energy flows. That's the overflowing of the spirit. That's when you can talk to God, to the pineal gland. I'm going to give you, you can go right to my website and download a chakra chart. Okay, so if you go to download, you go to drpaulherbs.com, and you can go right to my website, go to download when you get to the front page. All right, let me share this. How about that? If I share this, is that cool? Let me share this with y'all. All right, I'm gonna share this
I also
one.
I also posted it in the chat box for anybody. I also
Okay.
posted it.
Yes,
I
it's
just
all
want to.
right
I'm
there.
going to go over it anyway because I want to be able to. I want to go over it with the family so that they can. Hold on. Let me see here. Give me a second. Can y'all see it?
Uh-huh. Get right there.
Okay. All right. All right. So here we are. This is chakra. Go to the downloads. Got it. Download section. Where's the downloads? Where's the downloads? Here it is coming up. As you go to the chakra, see where it says chakras and endocrine system. See where it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
click on there. And Troy, you can actually, the color of the stones has everything to do with the energy. Okay? Just like fruits and vegetables have the same energy. We call that doctrine of signatures. Doctrine of signatures is AKA God's signatures, like God putting his stamp on this thing. That energy in each area of the chakras represents the energy in that area. So see right here, can y'all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so your spine, you see the spine right here? That's the tailbone. See the tailbone going all the way up. I'm echoing somebody mute me, please. So you go all the way up. So those are your 7 primary chakras. So that's like your spine is just like a tuning fork, or actually a piano. Did you know that your spine is like a piano?
All right.
You got it? So that means that every bone in your spine has a vibration, a signal, a a sound, and a color. So when you hit that one at the tail, it's going to resonate at a frequency that's dealing with do. Y'all remember this? Y'all who had music
Yes.
in school?
Do re mi.
Do, re, mi. See? Do, re, mi, fa,
Re, mi, fa,
So
sol, la,
like
ti,
So,
do.
so, la, ti. Now you know where it comes from. You got it? So the only first real piano is your spine. Wow. So that means that as you go up and down this chart, it spins like a chakra, like a wheel, like a serpentine. That's what Earth, Wind, and Fire called it the what? The serpentine fire. Oh, that's
All
what
right.
they
I know
were
that's right.
talking about. Yes, the serpentine fire. Or some may call it the kundalini in ancient times. You ever see in the pharaohs when they had the snake on the top of the head? Well, that represents
Yes.
the serpentine fire. That was meaning that they can talk and connect with the Most High God by spinning these wheels. So when you, Troy, when you get stones, you have stones that line up these chakras. Now, some people's chakras are misaligned, they're not spinning. So when they don't spin, you tend to have problems in that area. So see where the first one is, Troy? You still with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're looking at the dough, right? See, the dough represents the adrenals, the fight or flight, the response, the bones, the skeletal structure. That's the root chakra. Also, that's the survival. That's the where you deal with physical or tribal needs. That's when people are very materialistic. People are very much down in that area. You got it? So that's dough. Also, that's the lumbar chakra from the L5. Usually it's around the lower lumbar section if you have lower back problems. Got it? So the next one is the ray. That's the emotional. That's the actual where you get into the emotional balance. That's where sexuality is. That's right in the middle. That's where your adrenals are. Okay, that's the adrenal glands. That's also where regulation for water is. Okay? Then you move into the chest. That represents the solar plexus. That's the yellow color. Got it? See the yellow? Self-will. You know, guys do that. They beat their chest. That right in that middle section right there. That's willpower. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Right? Personal power, willpower. I'm gonna, I gotta pick it up. But that's also dealing with your digestion, assimilation. You remember I talk about the circadian rhythm cycles, circulation, muscles. And then as you go all the way up, you're going up as you go up. Fa actually deals with love. That's your heart chakra. That's your heart chakra. Number 4. Look what, notice the colors, family. Notice the colors. Notice the colors. That deals with the electromagnetic field, the blood pressure, immune system. Giving, your ability to give and receive love. Wow. That's awesome. Then we get up to the throat chakra. Right around the throat area, that's the thyroid. That's the communication. That's the number 5. Metabolism, calcium regulating. Also, when people, I tell folks all the time, when we have bad energy in our throat, that means we got to stop putting our words on people. Yeah, stuff comes back, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. Starts and stagnates the thyroid. So now you get a blockage and you can't get through to the top one, which is the pineal gland, which is actually, that's the pineal gland is your, that's the melanin regulator. Got it? That's the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus. That's the grand triangle. And then ultimately to the last one, which is your crown chakra, which is a violet color. You got it? You see where it is? So these are your chakras. And usually the stones that they line for you, Troy, have the same colors. Somewhere in that color, or they resonate the frequency of that color. That's what lines you up. So when you line this up and you start to feeling this thing going up through the body, that's when some people, maybe they say, well, I felt the Holy Ghost today. It flows through and you're talking to the Most High God. That's what it is. So the crown chakra is when you have the ability to get one through. Y'all ever heard somebody from down south that used to pray? They say, you better talk to so-and-so, sister so-and-so. She can get a prayer through. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you know why she can get a prayer through. She's probably eating right. She's probably eating the right food. She eating right. She living right. See, what blocks your chakras is bad food, bad energy, talking about people, just bad thoughts, bad stuff. You can stop one of these where you can't get through, and then you're going to have a blockage in that area. So just look what happens if it stops and blocks right around the area of the fa. Look what it is. What happens? Heart issues, high blood pressure, issues can't control that pressure. You got matters of the heart. You got it? You got matters of the heart. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
You hear me? If you got blood pressure problems, you got matters of the heart. You got it? It's the reality of what, this body is it's incredibly put together. So, Troy, I think that's pretty much what it is right there. You can download that right on the website though, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, last thing I would say about that is that you have fruits and vegetables look just like those colors, don't it? Interesting. Yeah, well, what's that orange good for? That orange is what color? That orange is what? Yeah.
An orange.
Yeah.
Orange.
Yes. So oranges would be good for what? Yes. Emotional balance, sexuality, procreation, right? And what else would you have? You have yellow, which is like what? Lemons, right? Right? Anybody know about the lemon? Lemon is what? Yellow, right? So what is yellow? That's your middle. That's your solar plexus. What's also in there? Digestion. That's your liver. That's why you take a lemon, squeeze it into some water, cleans your liver. Wow. All that energy is right in that zone. You got me? So when you want to clear out something, I'm going to give y'all a little test here. If you want to feel the vibration of how this thing is real with you, I want everybody just to say something as simple. I want you to say fa. Just say no. I want you to say so.
So,
So just say so. Everybody
So,
right now, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. All right. And I want you to
so,
just go
so,
deep breath and let it go. Right?
so.
So okay, that's enough.
what?
So
That's funny.
where did you feel that vibration?
Throat.
You felt it. You should have felt it right in your
What's
throat.
that?
You
Oh,
got it? You
good.
should have
You're
felt it
welcome.
right in your throat.
Oh. So
Ain't that awesome?
for the green for 5, so it's a lot of greens you eat. Am I correct?
That is correct. That's magnesium. That's a lot of green usually means magnesium. You know, magnesium has the ability to make things grow. So when you see a plant and it's really dark green, it's got a lot of magnesium in it. You got it? So things that are for the heart, you would use dark green leaves. That's why we say all those green leaves, fruits, and that we talk about with the herbs too. They stimulate the heart. Ain't that awesome? That's why this is called doctrine of signatures. It's called doctrine of signatures because it means that this whole thing is lined up with an order, whether you're paying attention to it or
They
not.
cost too much to take her
Okay,
there.
y'all gotta mute. Come on, family. Y'all gotta
You
mute. Y'all
got it.
gotta
You
mute.
got it.
Somebody gotta mute. Okay? Somebody's gotta mute. All right. So what's happening is it's a perfect system created by a genius, we say. So know where you are at all times. All right? All right, I think we went a long way with that. But thank you,
Yes,
Troy.
sir.
That was a good question, man. That was a good question. All right? Okay. Who do we have? We got Cinnamon. Cinnamon Stevens.
Okay, hello. Hi,
Hey,
Dr. Paul.
Cinnamon.
We
How
got
you
you.
doing?
Good, good. So I had two questions. My first question is, by chance, do you know a good holistic dentist in Philadelphia? And then my second question is, can you recommend any herbs or vitamins that's good for being anemic and having high cholesterol?
Yeah, we got to unpack all of those. First off, for the holistic dentist, I always recommend people first check with their coverage. So
Okay.
whatever coverage you have, I would check with them first, and you would ask for, put me in touch with the closest biological dentist. That's what they're called, biological dentist.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, biological dentist. That means that someone that's natural, holistic, that's talking the way we talking right now,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just dealing with dentistry, and also they'll use organic methods until they may have to use something of medications and things. Okay, so that means especially like when you're removing things like mercury in the mouth, things like that. And matter of fact, family, if you still got mercury, you got to get that mercury out of there. You got it? Because every tooth in your mouth is connected to an organ in your body, so you got to try to get that mercury out of there. Causes over long term can cause blood disorders and mess up the what's called autonomic system, which is your nerve system. Got it? Or your myelin sheath, things
Yes,
like that.
indeed.
Parkinson's, MS, leukemia, lupus, autoimmune issues. So be careful. All right, so I would do that first, Cinnamon. Okay,
Okay.
check with your. Now I do have a doctor. Her name was Dr. Grube, Dr. Blanche Grube, Grube, but she's in Allentown, and I know that she did. I interviewed her a couple of times on my show from years back, and she came on a couple of times. But I believe she was opening up a a practice here in Philadelphia. I don't know if that ever happened, but you can look
Okay.
her up. Her name is Blanche, and it's Grube. It's like the French, Grube. That agu over the top of the e. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I would check with her. She's very, very good. She understands this whole conversation, and what the dangers are of having mercury in the mouth and things like that, and also root canals. Be careful. All right. What was the
Okay.
last question?
The last two was, what are some good herbs or vitamins for being anemic and having high cholesterol?
Okay, anemic. Not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, family. All right, anemia comes from, remember, we're trying to build the blood. First things we start off with absolutely would be the greens. One that really has a lot of building blocks for uh, is going to be alfalfa. Okay,
Mhm. All right.
alfalfa. Alfalfa has a lot of energy for rebuilding the blood. Okay, so we use alfalfa. That's what a lot of the farms used to use for their farm animals to bring them back to health. They would put alfalfa in the feed,
Mhm.
and that really brings back the energy. So alfalfa would be one. Any of the greens. That's why I say the green drink that I have that I put together was a combination of both the land, so alfalfa's in there, but also the sea vegetables. Got it? So you need land and sea. So a green drink would be good, but you gotta do it. Here's the secret, though. Here's the secret. This is the secret. You gotta do it 3 times a day. That's how you
Mm.
change. See, people don't take it 3 times a day because it's inconvenient. But see, you're moving around a lot. So you have to maintain and balance your energy 3 times a day. This is the average person. And if you've been with me, you may have seen me do this. They said, this is you right here. You are looping. You are looping. You're moving around. They said, well, I don't do a whole lot, Doc. I just eat 1 time a day or 2 times a
Uh-huh.
day. I said, yeah. But you're moving around all day. So even if you're not doing anything, your body's using energy. Just thinking. Thinking. That's like your car sitting outside, right? Your car is sitting outside, it's in a parking spot, and it's running. You got the heat running, you got it. You got the gas, it's still burning gas. You got me? So even if you're not doing anything, you're using energy. So that's when people are running out of gas. You got to do this green drink 3 times a day. That is your multivitamin. This food. If y'all heard the show I did last week on WRD, I talked about the 2 elements that I talked about putting in as a catalyst to your green drinks to help it even more. It's 2 things that are missing from your foods. It's called humic and and fulvic acids. Humic acid and fulvic acid. These are the synergistic things that happen that are happening in the soil that have been removed because of the pesticides. There's nothing in it. So you have to start to now put that stuff back into your food to elevate it so that it can recognize and to start to feed the cells. Now, humic acid was what? It operates outside the cell. So that deals with free radical damage and things. Fulvic works on the inside of the cell. So that's why when you take humic and fulvic acid, add a little bit of that to your green drink, cinnamon, you're going to be jumping all over the place.
Well,
Dr. Paul, can you spell that folic or fulvic?
Yes,
FOLVIC, right?
fulvic.
Oh, right.
Fulvic. F is in Frank, UL, V is in Victor, IC. Not to be confused with folic. Folic is actually for brainstem. That's what we give like women when they're, about to have children, when they're trying to get. Yeah, that's right, Bill. You put it on there. Fulvic, VIC. I used to research this stuff like 20 years ago. I remember you couldn't even get fulvic acid because it was always after a volcano went off, and that how that molten lava comes down, and then when it starts to cool off, the ash that rolls on top of that is fulvic acid. And fulvic is actually the building blocks for when you plant soil and you put a seed in there, that synergy that happens that allows that spark or that germination to happen, fulvic acid. How about that? Fulvic
Mm-hmm.
acid. So that's the spark to the flame that starts the flame. So if you now add that to your green drinks, now you know that this stuff was automatically in our foods, but man has messed it up again. Doggone it, you done messed it up again.
Always, always.
So now this food doesn't have it anymore. So you don't have no spark. And that's why you're saying, I'm eating my vegetables, but I can't get no energy. I'm tired all the time, Doc. Well, I go to bed tired, wake up tired. That's exactly what it is. No energy, no spark plug. Got it? So now you start to add this thing back to your food. Game changer. Got it? Game changer. All right, Cinnamon, I think that's enough. I think we got through that one, huh? Anything else?
And it's for the high cholesterol.
High cholesterol is oils. Stay away from the refined oils. Remember, that's usually the biggest key. The liver, health of the liver, and staying off of the refined oils. Refined oils would be canola oil, the worst of the worst, canola oil, vegetable oil, corn oil, peanut oil. Those are your worst of the worst.
And
Got
what
it?
can you take for high cholesterol?
You can take for it, you can take, once you stay off of those, now you start to build the system up. You can do things like the any of the green drinks will help that. Okay, green drinks will pull that in. Liver would be anything of the liver cleanses, which would be burdock root, yellow dock, dandelion. Some people even get into the red yeast rice.
Yes,
Things
yes.
like that. So there's a lot of different ones out there. But see, remember, once you stop doing the trigger, the body sort of corrects itself. The actual cholesterol or the plaque and things that build it start to clear themselves. Also, don't sleep on that red onion. That red onion tea, y'all.
That's right. That's right, guys.
You got it?
Hey, Dr. Thomas, I want to remind you whether that your green drink can be shipped anywhere, anywhere.
Yes, we can ship the green
Also,
drink
Paul was
anywhere right now in
shipping
the
herb tea as well. So all over the world.
We're shipping it all over the world now. We going,
Right.
we got some stuff going over to Dubai.
That's
We
right.
got stuff going
Exactly right.
all over the world right now. So yes, we're very thankful and very. Yeah, B is giving me the wrap up. I'm gonna go with a little bit longer because
Go
I
ahead.
logged in
Hey,
a little bit later.
All
I
right,
logged in
Dr.
a little later,
Dr.
so I'm
Paul,
gonna
Dr.
go
Paul,
ahead.
I
I
got
have
a
a
So
question.
question.
okay, and let me go down the list. I want to try to get to everybody tonight. Okay, I'm gonna try to get on
I'm
there. I'm
not
gonna
on
stay
the
on there.
list.
Okay, Cinnamon, I'm gonna come to you there, Keith. Give me a second.
Okay.
Cheryl, we got Cheryl T. Cheryl,
Yes, good evening, and thank you again for all your knowledge and helping us.
All right, all right.
As
thank
you know, a
you.
lot of people have glaucoma. What might be missing from their diet?
Glaucoma?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pressure. It's pressure. That means the cranial arteries are being blocked from usually, and I've said this many times before, you gotta watch your sugar intake. Usually, whenever there's issues with the eyes, it always goes back to 90% of the time sugar. You gotta watch your sugar. Refined sugars, refined salts, refined oils, but that's sugar. That sugar does a job on you. You remember we just talked about earlier tonight how if you take refined sugars, it's going to draw, there's no minerals in it. So it's going to draw and look for, it's concentrated, it's going to look for moisture. So it's going to dehydrate those cranial arteries in your eyes. So now when it shrinks them, now there's blockage. Now the eye can't detox anymore. Builds back up in the eye. Then you got things like cataracts. Cataracts is the precursor because now that's mucus backing up that can't usually get out. Usually the mucus that comes out of the eye happens first thing in the morning when you're sleeping. You wake up and you got the sand in the eye. That's actually mucus coming out of the eye. But when you don't see that anymore, where is it going? It's backing up in the eye. Now when it backs up in the eye, pressure builds up. That's where the glaucoma is coming from. Got it?
Okay.
So you got to start the number one, stay off the sugar. The sugar is usually always the key. That's always the number one problem.
Okay.
You can use herbs that are going to help. Usually if there's a eye issue with glaucoma or cataracts, there's also usually a blood pressure problem. Is there a blood pressure problem here?
No.
Okay. So
Well,
watch.
for a couple of the people, yes, but one in particular, he has no pressure problems, but just a glaucoma. But I do think he eats a lot of items with sugar in it.
There you go. That's good. That'll it. So it's going to be a blood pressure problem or high levels of sugar. That's
Okay.
usually it. So you got to get them off of that sugar. Sugar, there are some herbs that we use that can do that. We always talk about the Dr. Christopher's Eyebright formula, which is good. But specifically, there's one called Eyebright. Eyebright, that's really good. Also, there's one called lutein. Lutein, Lutein.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also one called zeaxanthin. I gave that out last week. Zeaxanthin. Zeaxanthin is a nutrient that's found in things like kale. Okay, kale and spinach are very high in that. So these are things for the eyes. There's a great book called The Outback. Phil, what was the name of that book? The Outback. I forgot again. The Outback Protocol. It's called the
Protocol or
protocol.
procedure or something.
Yes, the Outback Protocol. There's a book called The Outback Protocol. For anyone who has any understanding that needs to get understanding with their eyes, get that book. It's called The Outback Protocol.
I think it's Outback Vision Protocol
Yeah, that's what it is. That's correct. Outback Vision Protocol. That's correct.
by Powell. His last name is Powell, I think, right?
No, the Power was the other guy. Power was that was the Power of the Seed.
The Outback Vision Protocol by Bill Campbell.
Bill Campbell.
Bill Campbell. There you go. Excellent book. Gives you a breakdown of what's really going on with the eye. Excellent reading material. Stuff that they never teach you is in that book. And he had a testimony of going over to around different. He went around to different islands all over the world and found out why some people have issues with eyes and other people don't. And some places he went into the Polynesian lake places, they had no eye. They had perfect vision. Matter of fact, it was better than 2020. He's like, what are y'all eating over here? And then he went into the diet, and then that's when you see what he came up with. So lutein, zeaxanthin, those are kind of like the two that was recommended. There are some other things, but he gives a whole protocol of fruits and vegetables, of course, organic, no conventional. All right.
One other thing about the oil of oregano. How do you use that, and what do you use it for?
Okay, oil oregano is for lungs, respiratory. It's also antibacterial, viral, fungal, and septic. So it's good for all of those. You would just take it, and the oil can go right under the tongue. It can be also added to your water or juice. If you are someone, there are two variations of it. There's called regular and extra strength. So if you are someone that has been or told that they're positive for COVID, that would be one that you would use. You put it right under the tongue. 2 drops, chase it with some water. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right, I'm gonna grab these few left, Big B. How about that? All right, we got Stacy. We got wait. Let me give you Keith. I'm grabbing Keith. Go ahead, Keith.
Okay, now getting back to the post nasal drip COVID. Now I've been having problems, Dr. Paul, like with my nasal. My nose is like dry inside with like sores. I don't know why. I don't know if it's from the mask or what, but my sleep is being affected by.
Were you tested?
Yeah.
You were tested? They did the nasal swab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was back in November.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are having a lot of nasal problems after the testing. That's what they're having.
Mm-hmm.
There are
like
some.
I say, I got sores. It's in my nose, and now my sleep is being, affected. Now, what I've been doing is I use some saline spray, and I kind of opened it up today, first time, and I feel like,
Well, this is what I would do. You need something to actually sort of chelate to pull that out of you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that there's a little bit more going on there. Okay, from the testing. So that's why we're there's a lot of people that are even suspect of saying don't even get tested because of that. It's very invasive to go up the nose like that. Be careful. I would use something like we talked about the oregano oils. We talk about the old Indian wild cherry bark, but I would heighten the highest antioxidant that you have in the body. There's two, and that would be the highest would be glutathione. Not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Glutathione.
How do you spell that?
GLU
GLU.
TATHIONE. Glutathione. Okay, glutathione is actually one of the highest antioxidants that you can actually, that's your body actually makes it. But if you are male that has high testosterone levels, you don't make a lot of glutathione. So that means most men dealing with all this stuff that's going on right now, all men, every man that's on this call tonight, and women too, but men mostly, you need to be on some glutathione.
There's pills. Is that pills or is it?
Yep, you can get it in capsules. No hard pills, right? We don't want no hard pills because if hard pills, you got to break that down. So you want capsules, glutathione. Also,
one other thing, Dr. Paul, is now what's the best CoQ10?
CoQ10.
CoQ10.
Yeah.
Well, of course, make sure it's from an organic place that's made the commitment to be organic. And I can tell y'all. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Go ahead.
Keith, you didn't spill the beans. The organic beans, that is. I just finished the formula for and I just went through production, and it's going to be released in about another week. A formula, and this is because I see so many problems with heart problems. It's a formula that I put together that's the highest of the CoQ10 and hawthorn berry combination put together. You're going to hear me announce this probably in about another week or two on the radio, or I'm announcing it here now, but it's going to be out in about another week or two. So this is one of the forms or the way that I see things that I don't see that's out on the market. So I'm giving you the best CoQ10 and hawthorn berry combination that one strengthens and one delivers. Oh man, it's gonna be out of sight. So that's for anyone with blood pressure problems. You need a certain amount of CoQ10 and hawthorn berry together.
Yeah, I need that.
You got it? So it's gonna be, so it'll be out very shortly. We're just working out the artwork and all that other stuff, and it's about to release very soon. So look out for that, family. All right.
So Dr. Paul, so that glutathione will help me with my sleep and getting my
right. Well, remember. Well, this is what the glutathione is going to do. The glutathione is going to start to pull out whatever is still causing the reaction. You're getting a reaction there.
Okay.
Something's still, hanging around in that nasal area where they swabbed you. You got it? So you need something to, like a dragnet, pull it out of there. And that happens with things like any of the antioxidants. That's their job. They bind to things like that and try to pull it out. So the bitters is a binder. And also glutathione. So that's why I said the oregano, which is the bitters, along with the glutathione. That's a 1-2 punch right there.
Okay.
With the things like the old Indian, Bill's favorite.
So all of that will pull that out. All of that will pull that out.
That's the goal. That's the
oregano and the glutathione.
And that also means heavy metals too. Okay, because remember that along with the green drink, the whole concept of the glutathione is trying to pull out some things that are foreign to the body that don't belong there. That's the goal. So if there's anything left over from the swab that took place, the goal is to get what don't belong in there out of there.
Sure. Okay.
You got me, family? So that's why I say, just, utilize both of those things. And I think that will help you. Now, I'm going to add one more. If you can't get glutathione, because a lot of people are really getting very knowledgeable about the glutathione, it's finally because, of course, with the Clove and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another one that you can get, which converts to glutathione and helps raise the glutathione, and that's called alpha lipoic acid.
Oh.
Got it? Alpha
Lipoic acid.
lipoic acid.
How do you spell it?
Okay, alpha, ALPHA. Lipoic, LIPOIC. Last is acid. There you go. That is actually used as another antioxidant that's used to help to pull that out. Okay, it binds, helps to raise the glutathione. So those two are like hand in hand. They're like a tag team right there. So sometimes you can find a combination of alpha lipoic acid and glutathione. So, you can find those.
Yeah, with that saline, it's kind of clearing me out, but that's still
Yeah,
not.
it's salts, which raises the alkalinity, which helps
Yeah.
to support the white blood cells, which actually is helping you. But you
Yeah.
need a little help. You need a little
And
help.
also, too, I was doing Himalayan salt, like breathing it through an inhaler. Himalayan
That
salt.
helps. Yeah, see, you're alkalizing. So remember, whenever there's alkalinity, you're increasing the ability for the body to help to, to destroy bacteria, virus, waste, anything that's in that charge, because that charge is positive. So now with the alkalinity of the salts, that's negative. So that's where you're sort of canceling the charge. But the thing is, right now, we still gotta, if there's something there, we gotta drag it out of there.
Got you.
You got it. That's the whole point. So the glutathione, that would be your best bet. That would
I'm
be
going to the health food store right now.
Yeah, all right. Where you going? Were you in Florida? Man.
I'm in Florida, but I'll be in Philly on the 22nd.
You got stores open right now?
I'm gonna stop by and shout at you.
All right.
Hey, what's your address? What's your address there, Dr. Paul?
It's 7804 Montgomery Avenue. And that's in suite number 6.
Yeah.
And that's in Elkins Park, PA.
I know. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna drop by, man, because I'm gonna drop some cash on you.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother.
All right, I will.
Bless the brother. All right.
Dr. Paul, hallelujah.
Yes. Hallelujah. Yes. All right, we're gonna get through the last ones. Now I want to hear from someone I have not heard from before. How about that? Can I hear from someone I have not heard from before? Because I know people get real shy, and I always ask them. I say, "Hey," they say, "Oh, I listen to it all the time." I say, "I'm on the calls." I'm like, "Well, why don't you say something?" Yeah, I'll be listening. I ain't gonna say nothing.
That's like me. Dr. Paul, hi, how are you?
Can I say something
Dr.
real
Paul,
quick?
hi,
before
how are
we go to somebody else?
Okay, hold up. Okay, who is that?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Let's take Sunshine. All right, Sunshine. Go ahead.
Question and hi, Bill. Hopefully everything is going well with you and your family, and that you have a safe trip in return. Now the question is this for you, Dr. Paul: the oil pulling, swishing. Is there a particular time in the day? Can it be morning or evening, afternoon, or is it particular one or the other?
There's no perfect time for oil pulling. If I were to give it a time, it would be in the cleansing cycle, which is from 4 a.m. to 12 noon.
Morning. Okay.
That would be in the morning. That's your cleansing cycle. Remember the circadian rhythm. You're going with the cycle. So if you're already flushing, that's a good time to do it right there. And if you have not heard about oil pulling, or if you're listening for the very first time, oil pulling goes back about thousands of years from our Vedic Indian concepts, which means that you take an oil, but it must be unrefined, no refined oils. I had somebody try to give me refined oil. I said, no, you can't do nothing with that. They didn't understand the science. When you start to squish, you start to fire off those salivary glands. They start to a pulling of a magnet. Pulls poison and toxins from into the mouth, from the bones, joints, ligaments, bloodstream, everything into your mouth. It's a detox, family.
And so the other part of that question is
okay, Sunshine. Let's wait a minute, Sunshine. Okay, one more, Sunshine.
The last part of that is you can put it in a jar of soil, right?
Right. I would definitely not put it in your toilet. That is correct. Because
So,
if you squish, put it in a jar. That's correct.
and at the end of that, when it's full, can you just put it in the trash?
No, you can put it. I would say put it in some soil. You know, that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
no, that's what
saying.
I'm saying. Put it
Yeah.
soil in a glass jar, and when it's filled, can you put it in the sanitation?
Yeah. I mean, it's trash. It is trash. But I'm just saying for the purposes of disposal, so that it doesn't in your bag or something like that. That gets a little bit. No, you don't
Right,
want to do
right,
that. Just put it in some soil, some dirt, some
Mhm.
grass, or
right.
something like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Outside.
Thank you so much. Have a safe evening.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr.
You're
Paul,
welcome.
Dr.
Okay.
Paul, Dr.
Okay.
Paul.
Who is that?
That's this is Helen Jackson.
Hey, Helen,
Um,
I got you on the list. So you go ahead.
all right, my question, I put it in the chat because I see a number of questions in the chat. So, but I'm going to ask to you now. There's a number of people who have had COVID. Been talking to a couple of people I know. They seem to believe that okay, now I got COVID, I'm free to travel and do this and do that.
Mm-mm.
And so once you
Mm-mm.
have COVID, just watching TV and listening, they've been saying that there you could possibly get it again. So what are some of the things that you should do if you had COVID before to keep your immune system up?
Well, we talk about all those things. You know, the vitamin A, the
Hmm.
vitamin D, all those things that we've talked about. I don't know if this is your first time on.
No, I remember
Okay.
those. I thought I
Right.
wasn't sure whether it was something extra
Right.
that you
Eh,
should do since you
Right.
were exposed.
Absolutely. And Helen, you bring up an excellent point. Family, there are variations of this thing, and they're mutating daily. So this is a wheel that's constantly growing. So that's why they're trying their very best to say, oh yes, this vaccine is just for it can do that one too. Mm-mm. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. You know what it's like? It's like trying to input into Windows 10 Windows 98.
Oh no.
That's what
Oh
it's trying to
no.
do.
Oh
You're
no.
dealing with things that were in 1998, now pushing it in something like Windows 10.
Mm.
Now, this
That's
system
what.
is so backed up and is so out of date that this virus has mutated. It's constantly moving.
Yes. Yes.
That's why the only thing that can deal with something that is alive like a virus is your immune system, which is alive
Yes.
to fight it. Man, it just makes no sense, man. But it's all part of the money game, it's industry, it's all those things and above, family. Okay? So build the immune system with those things we talked about. Vitamin A,
Hmm.
okay, which is about what? About 200,000 IUs, right?
That's right.
Vitamin D, if you're doing a vitamin D, you gotta be around 10,000 IUs of that. Okay? Garlic, which is about 5 to 6,000 milligrams. You gotta be doing a vitamin C, which is fruit based, non ascorbic acid, no ascorbic acid,
Mm-hmm.
fruit or herbal base. Okay, and that should be around 6,000. We mentioned the oregano oil. Got it. We also mentioned things like the old Indian wild cherry bark. And the last thing I would add to that is the elderberry bark,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
the elderberry from the elderberry. You could actually hear the elderberry syrups,
Hmm.
and that's for our children.
So,
Okay.
but can you speak on the fact that once you have it, that
No, that's the point I'm making. It's variants that are mutating. There's no way possible that it can protect you, from one shot.
yeah. So
It's
you still
impossible.
have to wear your mask. You shouldn't
Oh
still
yeah, yeah. You're gonna still have to
have
wear the mask. That is
mask and
correct.
all that other kind of stuff because
Yeah,
there's a possibility of you getting it again.
Oh,
Correct?
absolutely. They're already doing it. It's happening already in Europe. Did y'all hear about this? That people are already getting it again for the second
Yes.
time in Europe. They're
Yes.
getting it already.
Yes.
And remember, this is the only place where all four are happening at
At
the
the same
same
time.
time.
That's exactly right.
Nowhere else on the planet,
Condemnation.
nowhere else on the planet do they have all four.
That's right.
Only in America is it having all four of those viruses, or the variants. So what does that say? Is God giving the judgment on the United States family?
Well.
Well,
Hallelujah.
can I get a amen? All right, y'all.
Dr. Paul, real quick.
Dr.
Yes.
Paul.
All right. So who do we
Real
have?
quick. I promise.
Okay,
Michelle.
Michelle. Yeah, you are next,
Hi,
Michelle.
how are you? How are you?
Okay, I'm gonna get everybody. I have
Okay.
already all the way down to Bill. You are at the bottom of that list, so I have all the way till Mary Mar will be the last one. Okay, so Michelle, go ahead.
So really quick, so I'm not sure if you heard of Dr. CB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's in our line. We know him very well. Yep, when he was live.
So is that a good like alkaline diet to follow? Because I was looking at his list and some of the herbs says not good, like it's hybrid herbs.
Well, you got to remember, he's just making a point that a lot of the food has been altered. Whether it still is good or bad, it still is better than a GMO. Okay, it's still better than a GMO. So even if it's a garlic that he because he talks about a lot of stuff like garlic is hybrid, but grandma and them used to have natural hybrids. When you took two, I don't know if y'all knew, like from somebody down south used to take two plants and wrap them together, and then it becomes together, it becomes one. You just made a hybrid. So that's what happens. But ultimately, is it causing you to be acid or alkaline? That's the question. And that means, is it spinning you the wrong direction? If it's spinning you the wrong direction, it's not good for you. You got it? That's how you really cut the chase, family. Start testing yourself. Start testing your pH. Get those pH strips and start testing. When you eat certain foods and you start to feel a certain way, test your pH. That's it. That's your barometer of health right there. If you're in a state of acid, it's tearing down and you're going to be in the state of sickness. When you are building up, you're building the alkaline, you're going the other way, it's good for you. That's it. There's only two things. It's either life or death, y'all. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing ever changed. Ain't nothing changed.
There's no
Never changed.
Huh? There's no straddling the line. One has to make a decision and stand on it.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I'm gonna go through these real quick. All right, I got Stacy Johnson. Stacy, go.
Oh, hi. I'm here. No.
Okay, Stacy. All right, I see you.
Hi. Okay, I just wanted to know. I did get the pH test. I've been doing it for a while. Can you be too alkaline? I mean, mine is like 7.85.
Okay. Now remember, how are you doing it though? Give me an example of how you're doing it. You're doing saliva and urine.
Right.
Okay. So you read it, and then what do you do?
Then I compare to the little, the chart. So like yesterday and today, like saliva was 8 and urine was 7.5.
Okay.
So it came out to be 7.85.
Okay, how did you come out with that for those who maybe didn't hear you?
The saliva twice, and then you add the urine and divide it by 3.
There you go. So you double the saliva.
Right.
Add to the urine.
Right.
And divide by 3. And that gives you a number. So it's not a bad thing to be, yes, you can have too much alkaline. It's called alkalosis. So that's when it gets too high and it stays too high too long. But you're not in the range where that happens. Usually when that happens, that's usually when if you notice something abnormal where your pH is like at a 9.0 or something real high, real high for too long and it's staying out there. No. If you know that you're taking foods that are highly alkaline and that's the reason why it's getting you there, that's something different. Okay, so just keep your eye on it. I would say test your pH at least once or twice a day. Get a log, family. Start logging yourself so you know where you are. If you're in constant pain, if you have inflammation of any kind, test your pH. I guarantee you're acid. You got it? So I would say, just keep an eye on it. Usually we're trying to get folks around a 7.3. That's where we say it all happens right there. So if you're around the 7.3, 7.5, 6, 7, 8, that's actually a good thing dealing with all this COVID going on out here. You're highly alkaline. How do you feel? That's the main thing.
Feel fine. I used to use the litmus paper on the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
on the roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like, 6 point. I went from like 6.85 to maybe 7.1. So I got the newer strips, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was, it was like, So when I saw the 7.85, I'm like, really?
Yeah, it
Which
turns
I
like a
do my
purple color. Turns like a purple color.
no, it has the little two colors, two tabs on each strip,
Mm-hmm.
and it just fell into that, the
Yeah,
short
make
color.
sure if it's the two, make sure it's the top one, not the bottom one.
Okay.
Okay? Because the top one is a reference level is on the bottom.
Yeah.
Don't read that one. Hope you ain't been reading that one. It's the top one.
The top. Okay.
So look at that again, okay?
Okay,
So
that's
if you're
fine.
looking at the top one, all right, I got to do this now. I got to do this. Hold on.
All right.
You
By the
need
way,
the
since,
strips.
since Dr. Paul steps away, guys, for those of you who want to know how to get in touch, get the chat for tonight, I just put my email address in there. Make sure you get it.
I had to go
Okay.
get this. I had to go get this because I don't want to leave anybody hanging on this one. All right, and this is that important. It's very, very important. If you have your pH strips, this is the pH strips right here. Y'all see it?
Yep, right there, Dr. P.
Got it?
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
Got it? So, is this the same ones you have? Piping Rock? This one called Piping Rock. You have that same one? Is that the company?
I'm looking.
No, Piping.
It's not.
Okay, all right. So some of them will look like this, and I'm gonna turn this around for the family to see. See right there?
Yep,
See the top? You got two levels,
Okay.
top and the bottom.
Yes.
Got it? The
Right.
top one
Uh-huh.
is the main one. The bottom one is the reference.
Okay.
Got it? They give you a reference
Okay.
because sometimes you'll see two that come very close together in color, and it's like, well, wait a minute. The bottom usually is the determining from left to right which one it really is. It's like, for example,
Okay.
like it may be between a 6.5 and a 6.7. And you look at one and say, wait a minute, they're really close. They look almost the same. It's remember, this is a subjective test. It's not an operative test. It's a subjective test. It's subjective to who's looking at it. You got it? So that's why when you
Okay.
look at it, somebody say, well, it look green to me. When somebody say it look blue to me, you say, so it's subjective.
Okay.
So that's why they have those colors on there. So make sure it's the top one, not the bottom one. Got it?
Mhm.
And then when you
Okay.
read it, you put it in there. Always do it before a meal. Before a meal. Never after a meal. Always
Do
before,
it first thing in the morning.
right? Or you can do it before you eat dinner.
Yes.
Make a log, family.
Okay.
I got one lady. I don't know if she on tonight. Miss Carrie. Miss Carrie. If she's on, she's probably on the phone. She listens. Hey, Miss Carrie. There she is. She on here. Oh my goodness. I didn't call her out. Miss Carrie, she's on here. And Miss Carrie,
right.
she keeps a book of this thing. I mean, she every time she show up for her assessment, she got an Encyclopedia Britannica with her.
Okay now.
All right.
And it's every
That's
time
good.
she ever take a
Thursday?
pH, I said, Miss Carrie, I'm gonna put you on Front Street every time I talk about this because she is the epitome of knowing where you are at all time. And I'm sure Miss
There you
Carrie,
go.
you there?
All
Can you
right.
speak for a quick second?
Hi,
Hey, Miss Carrie, how many times you do your pH a day?
I do first thing in the morning.
First
That's
thing in
when
the
I did
morning?
it. When I
Mm-hmm.
do it in the morning.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And you're noticing the changes, right?
Yes, it fluctuates. Sometime I kind of go backwards sometime, but most of the time I on key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it helps you though,
Good
doesn't
job.
it? It helps you with your food
Yeah.
choices. It helps you when you know that, I know I shouldn't eat this right now because I'm already a little acidic, or I need to grab
Yeah.
something else to grab some more alkaline. I need some more green leaf. I need to get a little bit more alkaline. It helps you to be a barometer knowing what's going on. It's your barometer of health, y'all. This is how you know
That's
if
what
you
I've been using.
yeah, this
I've been
this
doing it since January. And I
mm-hmm.
would just put it on my calendar and I would mark it every day on my calendar.
Yeah.
Since about for 6 weeks, I've been doing it. It's just that when I got the new ones, I was like, it was kind of up there. So, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
look at it again. And then the other question I had was, when you're taking things like teas for your liver and
Mm-hmm.
immune, do you take them on an empty stomach? Do you take them in the morning? I do take a detox tea
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, first thing
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, because that's the
Okay.
cleansing cycle. So I do that.
Right.
But if you're going to do something for your liver, or even if you're going to do like the cheese oil, do you do it on an empty stomach, or how do you take it?
Well, thieves oil is a spray. Remember, we try to use that as a
Yeah.
spray only, right? So that's a spray to
Okay.
protect you. But any of the herbs that you take, each individual is going to be different. Sometimes there are some that are a little bit more bitters that will actually draw out and cause you to, to upchuck to bring that stuff out of you. And people
Okay.
say, well, I'm not taking that herb no more, doc. That made me throw up. But guess what? That's what it was
You're
supposed to do.
supposed to do. Okay.
Supposed to go in there and pull that poison out of you the fastest way. You just didn't like the way it was doing it.
Okay.
So here's what we got to do. If it bothers you, usually we try not to do, you can do teas on empty stomach, but some of those bitters are going to be a little rough on you. Okay. They're going to
Okay.
be a little bit rough. So I would say take caution with the bitters unless unless you don't want that result, because usually the bitters will go right there in that gut and pull out that stuff, whatever's going on in that gut. It's going to pull it
Okay.
right on out. That bitters is no joke. Yep. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
Stacy.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right. And I got a few more that I'm going to go down. And I know we're going past tonight because we came on a little bit late. So I'm going to finish this off because I think this is an important night. And I hope y'all getting something out of this tonight. All right. We got Bomba Ra.
Hey Doc, how are you?
All right, man. How you doing, brother? Like them
I'm
glasses, man. Like them glasses.
oh man, you like all the good stuff, Doc. You know how you are, man.
Just for that, you got to send us a pair each.
Hey Doc, just
Okay.
quickly, an update and just a point of concern, which is probably answerable, I'm sure. On my regimen in terms of dealing with the cancer of the bladder, in which I'm doing all the things that I have been prescribed to do,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to getting, finished sunlight here and there.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed for the past maybe 2 weeks or so, the leg bag that that deposits the drainage from my I guess it's my bladder.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it being sort of like clear, now it's like deep dark blood, deep like purple blood. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is constant.
Mm-hmm.
However, in terms of just my whole urinary process, everything's crystal clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're detoxing, man. That's what it is. Definitely. You got to keep the water. Make sure as you're taking the herbs that you're doing proper amount of flushing with the water. Okay. You got to keep that balance. That herb to water balance is really where it's at, because you're pulling it out, man. You're pulling it out. Yeah, you're pulling it out.
Yeah, and I feel good. I mean, I have more energy now than I did before this thing started, and it's just building more and more, and I'm just doing more things than it's amazing. So, okay, because I was just wondering, should I go to the emergency ward and all this kind of stuff?
Well, when you see the dark urine, immediately water. Okay, that's it, because it needs. You remember, every herb, especially when you deal with the cancer herbs, they're going to demand a lot of water. They're binding, they're bitters, so they're binding to the poison and they're pulling it out. But you need to flush it. You got to flush it. That's why they're going to demand a lot of water. Some people will get signs of when they're taking a lot of the blood cleansers. They'll start to say, "Oh, I was feeling a little nauseous or I felt a little headachy." That means you're dehydrated. The body's trying to send you a signal that I need water. Got it? In order to complete the process, I'll go in there and bind to this poison, but you got to flush me out. That's the whole point. So I got to send a signal to you to start to flush that out. You got to work on that water. I would flush that water until you start seeing that urine turn clear again. That's how you keep it going. All right?
Okay, God. And I'm going to Ghana in a few weeks, but I'm going to see you I have a visit with you in about 2 weeks. So,
All right.
thank you so much. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
I'm looking forward to Bomber Rob. Bomber Rob.
Take care of yourself,
That's
buddy.
right.
All right.
We'll see
All
you
right.
soon.
We got I got a few left. I got Nadine on the line. Nadine.
Good evening, Dr. Paul.
Good
I
evening,
enjoy
Nadine.
listening to you and thank you for all your knowledge and wisdom. Um, my question is this. My son has eczema. Now, um, I've been, doing some things to help him, but his hands actually are one of the main parts of his body that tends to suffer a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and especially if he like gets stressed out. Um, his neck, that's getting better. But I've done a super detox cleanse for
Mm-hmm.
him. But he's just battling this. He's 24,
Okay.
and what else could I do? We've been doing a liver cleanse, all of
Mm-hmm.
that.
So what liver cleanse have you been using?
Well, it's a company that I utilize, and we have done their super detox, and it has had great results. We've been doing this for many years, but and then we'll lay off
Okay.
for 6 months to clear the receptor sites and come
Okay.
back.
So what specific are they though? The herbs.
I don't have it in front of me, but I
Okay.
can make an
No.
appointment and bring
No
it to
problem.
you.
I just want to make a quick point, okay? And then that is that remember, whenever you're seeing, you got to read the signs of what the body's telling you. You remember family, and this is a good example right here, so that the family can listen. The body tells you everything that's going on. It's a barometer of health itself. So you can read the signs, and it speaks the language itself. So whenever there's issues with skin, that means that the body is purging something. Got it? It's purging. So that's bacteria, could be viral, could be fungal, could be septic, could be parasitic. So you have to know what's number one. If it's drying, that has everything to do with things like I would definitely start to get the fatty acids. That's a depletion of the fatty acids. So you got to get the things like the sea buckthorn. That's a good one to rub on him. The sea buckthorn. Not to diagnose, treat, cure for anything. That's food for the soul. That would be something of helping to heal the skin. But at the same time, you got to be careful of the combinations of liver cleanse. You don't need a whole lot of cleanses or complex combinations of liver cleanses. These herbs been around for billions of years. So you just need the right one. Something like a burdock root would do wonders. But I would not use them in combinations. Okay, I would use them one at a time to see which one works better for him. Pau d'Arco. Okay. Things like yellow dock, but not all together. So you could be overlapping and you'd be causing too much problem, which means it's stressing out the organs because there's still not enough water. What kind of water is he drinking?
Well, we have a purified system.
Ooh, that's your problem
I
right
know.
there. That's your problem. I'm gonna tell
I
you, that's your
know.
problem. That's your problem. See, you're doing all this good stuff, but then when you drink the purified water, you just went back to acid. He's back to acid. You got me? You
So
just
get rid of the
neutralize.
the
You
filtered
just
water.
you just neutralize the charge.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like someone who eats, all the great foods from Whole Foods and then drinks distilled water. You just destroyed the charge. So every time you're taking those herbs, which are probably good, as soon as you drink that purified water, you're done. You're back to zero. You're back to a state of acidosis in the environment in which bacteria, virus, and fungus and all that stuff grows in. So you're not going anywhere. You're back to zero. That's why the pH is so important. Did you hear me when we just talked about the pH strips?
I did.
Yeah, you need to get those strips and you need to be on top of that. And you need to be
Okay.
checking them all the time. I'm going to give you one more to take with you, and that would be for topical. Topical would be a combination of aloe vera gel, coconut oil, tea tree oil, and neem. That's the combination I would give him right there. And if he has a sensation where it starts to burn a little bit, that would be lavender. Okay, that's your combination. And what you would do is put that in a combination of oils and rub that on the skin along with doing the detox with the herbs. Internal. Got
Okay,
it?
now thank you. Now this detox is simplistic. It's simplistic. It has red clover, milk thistle, calcium, broccoli, um,
That's what I said.
artichoke.
I don't think that there's a problem there. I'm gonna tell you what your
Mhm.
problem is. Is that water? That's the problem. Everything
Filter.
you said, that's working. I don't. As long as they made the commitment to be organic, red clover, things like that, that's usually going to be solid. But what's not solid is that water. Your pH is going to be way off. Purified water doesn't even get as high as 6.0.
Well, it's not the purified. It's filtered through my
Right, but
system.
that's right, but that still stays on that level. So you
Okay.
remember, the ones you got to stay away from: purified, filtered, reverse osmosis, and distilled. They all fall in that same line.
Okay. All
Right.
So
right.
you got to get you a good water. If you grab you a Crystal Geyser water or
I
any
did
water
grab
that's
that.
spring water that's bottled at the source, and then when you make that formula, put a little bit of that water in there also, and I'm telling you, game changer. Life begets life. That's the only way this thing works.
Okay.
Got it?
All right.
Okay, Nadine, thank you.
Thank you.
And I got one more. I got Marimar. I got one more, and we getting out of here. Boy, y'all kept me tonight.
That's all
Yo,
right. He deserved to
still,
be
they
whooped
got
up,
me
y'all.
tonight.
He
They
deserved
got
to
me
be whooped up,
tonight.
y'all. He was hanging out today, so get him.
Yep. We got,
Um,
yes.
this is my first time on.
Okay.
I had a question. So I'm only 27, but I've always struggled with like dark circles around my eyes. And I've started to research it a little deeper than just sleep or whatnot. And I came to find it has something to do with my adrenal glands.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so here we go. We did do a special on this also. Under the eyes. Remember, I just mentioned that the body is a assessment itself. You just got to read the signs, okay? So under the eyes is the sign for kidneys.
I've actually, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had a kidney infection.
Okay. Okay. So here we go. So kidneys, you got to watch your kidneys. Under the darkness under the eyes is stress. Puffiness under the eyes is inflammation. The side in which one is either darker or more inflamed than the other represents the kidney on that side. Okay. The adrenals sit on top of the kidneys. So that means dehydration is number one. Okay. So what the water you drink is very critical, but also watching the refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils. You got to get unrefined. Okay. There are, oh man, who was that? Oh my goodness, that is not good for prime time. That was not good for prime time, Bill.
Let us pray.
I don't know who that
Hallelujah.
was, but I hope we didn't have a visual to go with the sound.
No, we didn't. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. We didn't see that one.
Oh, man.
Boy, that would be a sight to see, boy. I
Guys,
tell you.
that's why you mute, guys.
That's why you mute, family. See, y'all waited all this long time to that good old laugh. See how that just brought that through? All right. So, did we answer that question for you? Did I answer that question for you, Myanmar? Did she go?
No, I'm right here. I'm still here.
Okay. All right. Remember, your kidneys, there are things that you need for kidneys, but you got to get spring water bottle at the source. What kind of water are you drinking?
Yeah, we only drink spring water.
But what kind of spring water?
I sometimes do either Poland Spring or Crystal Geyser.
Okay, stay away from the Poland Springs. Got it? Remember, spring water is spring water bottled at the source. That's the key. Got it? Poland Springs is getting sued right now, y'all. They still in court. They caught them tapping the municipal waters. Leave it alone. Bad water. Barely 6.0 on the pH. Crystal Geyser, not even to be compared. 8.5 on the pH. Got it? That's going to get your kidneys back in order. You need a higher energy. So that's when we start to look at also herbs that for the kidneys would be like dandelion root, things like uva ursi, UVAURSI. Okay. Stone root, STONE root, stone root, juniper berries. Okay, all of those juniper berries. Those are just a few right there, Marimar. But I also have one last thing I want to tell you. Okay, understand also. Where are you from, by the way? Marimar?
Yeah, I'm from Philly.
You from Philly? Okay, do you know where your family's from? Or have you ever had your DNA done?
No, my mom is from Puerto Rico. My dad is from Puerto Rico.
She's from where?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Ah, okay.
My dad is from Dominican Republic.
Ah, see, you just answered some major questions there. Okay, now, and this is to all the sisters out there. Remember, a little darkness under the eyes is not a bad thing. Remember, darkness under the eyes, and this is just not saying that there may be sickness the way we just went through those set of herbs and things, but also remember, there's what's also called indigenous markings.
Yes.
And those indigenous markings are with people who are living or from closer to the equator. You got it? So you have indigenous markings from those that live closer to the equator because it is a marker for protection for your eyes. So those that live closer to the equator tend to have those indigenous dark marks under the eyes, which sometimes is just who you are. You got it? So don't look at it as a bad thing. It is a good thing because you ever see the football players with the markings under the eyes? They put that under there for what? To keep down the glare of the sun. But here it is, God then put that under you as a natural because you knew you're going to be closer to that equator. How about that?
No, that's right.
Yeah, if you can't see God, you ain't looking, y'all. Come on now.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, Mary Martha, be glad. That's a good thing. That's a protection for your eyes also. All right? All right, family. Big B.
Yo, man.
You can sign us off now. I had a good time with y'all tonight. I hope we got something out of this. We almost went what we go, 2 hours?
2 hours.
How long we go? 2 hours today.
Yes, right.
So I thank y'all. So it's a pleasure. Go ahead.
That's all right. Listen, guys, just always remember this is something we do, but we don't always. It's not something that's mandatory. Everything that is shared with us is during this time to make sure all this information gets out to the family and anybody else that you share. So we are appreciative of that you shared to Dr. Paul's Cash App, which is set up as capital. What is that, Dr. Paul? That's the dollar sign, capital D, Dr. DAUL, capital HOP, and make sure that you do that because everything that is sent in, guys, guess what? Get put right back so that we make sure that we get this information out to you. And guess what?
Yes.
You're home tomorrow.
Yes, Big B is coming home tomorrow, y'all. Let's give him, we're going to pray for traveling grace and mercy as you travel the highways, the byways, and the skyways.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Yes, and we pray for safe passage for you, all right? And I pray that everything works well with you and your family. We're going to cover and protect you, Big B, and I want to thank you for all that you do. And as Bill said, we try to keep this family tree going. This is a blessing. I hope this has been a blessing to somebody tonight.
Yes, indeed.
That we got something out of this. But we want to keep it going, and that's what we do. So we don't make it a mandatory for any type of funds or anything like that. We just say if you feel like you want to donate, it's up to you. We try to keep it going. But if you've been enriched tonight by something, we try to keep the program going, because Bill has to do all that editing and stuff, and so that when it hits the social media, he has to do all that stuff. So that's where all of this funds and proceeds go to the development of the editing and all the things that go in, so that you can continuously pass this thing around to you and your family. How about that? So the Cash App is down there, is $ Dr. Paul, DrPaulHop. And if you feel led, that's all I can say. You know, we try to just say keep all this information, and the only thing I'm going to charge you with tonight is the truth. You're going to tell somebody.
I know that's right.
Tonight, I want to charge you with the truth, so you got to tell somebody. Don't hold on to this information. Share this information. Even when this goes live, it's going to go on Dr. Paul's. It's going to go right on the Holistic Health Network, which is on Facebook, and then we're going to push this out. And if you want to be a part of that, just sign up, and then we can actually bring you in. Okay? So we thank you, family. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And hey, stay safe out there. Stay built up with the immune system. Remember, we're like trees. We just got the ability to walk around. So be encouraged. Be encouraged. And if you're breathing, you got a shot. All right, family. God bless y'all. God bless y'all.
Yes.